Hey everyone, the name is Erik, and welcome to today's live stream where we will be talking about sensitivity and introverted feeling and being too sensitive to ... So basically, what I've come to notice is that a lot of highly sensitive people, a lot of people who process emotions or experiences more vividly or more strongly or more intensely, will have this struggle of feeling like life is more difficult. So because you process things more vividly and experience things more strongly and take emotions more seriously and experience these things on a higher level, on a higher frequency, you also begin to experience life as more difficult than other people. You start thinking, oh, life is so difficult, life is so heavy, life is so tough. I can't handle this. I can't handle relationships. School is too much for me. I'm too stressed out by work. It is too much on my shoulders. It's too much going on. So yeah, that's why you get a lot of like for people like, for example, introverted intuitives struggling with ghosting and detaching and distancing themselves from other people and getting into a secluded cave away from society, away from civilization. Then you get the introverted feelers who develop all kinds of manners of defensive mechanisms in relationships and towards their family members and towards their own feelings and emotional life. So the natural reaction when you're highly sensitive is it makes life more difficult. It makes me want to guard myself more. It makes me want to protect myself more. It makes me want to hide away more. So it leads to unintentionally or intentionally that you say no to a lot of important opportunities that will make you grow, that will make you happier. It makes you quit on your medical degree that you really wanted, felt so important to you. It can make you like drop out. It can make you end the relationship that was very important to you, and it can make you hide from speaking the truth and sharing how you're feeling and putting yourself in a situation that will, yeah, that is important to you and that means something to you. So this is a real difficulty, and hey, a, a lot of you have situations and you have goals and you have tasks and you have things you want to do and you have people you care about. So you all probably recognize as well that, yeah, there is something I have to do about it. And so the first thing that you have to recognize is you don't have to do as much as other people, but you have to do it with a higher quality. So what I'm getting is that to some extent, feeling is about quality and thinking is about quantity. So, where thinkers tend to talk about efficiency, numbers, productivity, doing as much as possible, as fast as possible, as a feeler, you have to recognize that this is not for me. I need to put quality over quantity in my relationships at work and in school. So, this means, yeah, you're not going to have to go for always getting the highest score, always getting all the answers right. You're not going to have to go gun for always uh, doing as much as everybody else, always being as on as everybody else and going to as many parties as everybody else and, being as on as everybody else. You're not going to have to worry about that. You should not be taking this on your shoulders. So what you should be doing is you should be looking at how can I improve my quality and how can I do better in what I'm actually doing and what is actually important to me. So yeah, it comes down to values versus reasons, like Peter says. It's basically connected to you have to make sure that you're doing things in tune with your values. You're going to have to make sure that you're a good person, that you're remaining true to your ethics, that you're considering like those things that feel most important to you, that it's not just about meeting an objective standard. It's not just about doing as good at the test as your teacher wants you to, or it, it's about doing it so you feel good about it and so that you feel it's right for you. So you're going to have a lot of times in school and at work where your boss is going to tell you, you need to do this. And you're going to be realizing to yourself, yeah, but I want to do that. And you could be doing this a lot faster. Yeah, but I like doing it this way. And you could be doing this a lot better if you try this method. Yeah, but this one allows me to help people more, or it allows me to feel better about what I do. So you're going to have that clash of quality versus quantity. And you're going to have to convince people that the way you're doing it is for the better of the people, of mankind, of art, or of human development, or of ethics, or of some more interpersonal or introspective aim. And you're going to have to make it a lot more personal. And you're going to have to explain to people that this is how I like to do it and this is how it feels good to me. So first, you're going to recognize that there are objective metrics of success and there are personal metrics of success. So what you're getting is you can be doing things for objective metrics of success, and there's going to be people telling you how to do music, how to play the guitar, how to become successful, how to make as much money as possible. And then there's going to be you and your personal metric of success. And that's going to be, yeah, like I want to sit down by the pub and play guitar, and I'm going to sit by the river, and I want to go and just draw or doodle, or I just want to use this method of pencil work, or I'm just going to do this my way. And you're gonna have this my way versus the way. And my way is important here because it's gonna be personal, and perhaps nobody else is doing this. Perhaps nobody else is doing things your way, and you're gonna be called weird, and people are gonna be saying, why are you doing it, and why are you doing that, and why do you have to make things so complicated? But you're gonna be constantly hitting up to that level of, yeah, but this is my way, or this is what feels good for me. And obviously, to an aim, we're looking for recognition, we're looking for success, we're looking for fame. There's all those things are important questions, and they're important topics, and they're gonna weigh on your shoulders. So what you're gonna realize is, okay, as a feeler, feelings are the carrot and thinking is the stick. So you're gonna have this, oh, I want to create art, I want to make music, I want to do this and that. And then you're gonna have that thinking as a whip, and thinking is gonna be like, but you need to make money, and you need to be rational about this, and you have to look, okay, am I getting a bigger audience? How much is it growing? What do the statistics say? What do the numbers say? And you're gonna have to, as much as possible, ignore that. And because I want to is a perfectly good reason. Yeah, it's because I want to. It's a perfectly good reason. It's a brilliant reason. And what we're going to have to accept is that our feelings have a logic of their own, and that they have a higher ability of seeing the right path for us than logic does. So what you're noticing is eventually, as you're doing this, yeah, like this style is working for me, and this style is making me feel good about myself, and this style is making me feel happier. Yeah, it might not be getting you money, it might not be getting you success, but it's making you feel better about yourself. So okay, when you look at science, when you look at studies on artists, what do you see? Okay, artists don't really want to make money. They, when asked or when offered money as a reward, they don't really respond well. They don't really react well. They don't do a better job. They don't work harder. They don't push themselves more. Being offered money as an incentive that can work short term, but long term, it's actually negative for artists. Perhaps this is why artists are poor, but it's also just how it works, and it's just that something we're gonna have to recognize. Not all people are gonna be motivated by money, and not all people are gonna do a better job because we pay them more. So I had a question here. Do you have any tips on how to avoid ghosting on people? And yeah, when you're looking at for example, introverted intuition, yeah, a lot of introverted intuitives have histories of ghosting on friends and family members, and avoiding and detaching from people, and moving on without people. So what I tell people is communicate boundaries, communicate absence, tell people I'm going to take some time for myself, tell people I want to go early and sit down, relax, tell people, yeah, I need some me time right now. You just learn to communicate, because what I get is a lot of people don't communicate absence. They don't communicate that they need these things, and then they push it away, and then they push it away, and then they push it away, and all of a sudden they're sick of it and they can't take it anymore, and then they push the person away and they break up the relationship and they say this is not working anymore and I'm gonna be on my own forever now. And that's the spiral that I think is most true with ghosting. And I also see that people who ghost, they're also feeling pressure to be overly present all the time. So they're feeling pressure to be constantly there for other people, to listen to everybody, to hear everybody out, to always give people their 100% full and undivided attention. And you don't need that. You don't need to give that to people. So we have that of fight and flight. And I think that's appropriate when you're pushing yourself too hard. So my message is set realistic expectations for yourself when it comes to emotions and when it comes to energy and attention. If you're not a sensor, attention is not your thing. You're not going to want to have constant action. You're not going to want to have constant things planned out, everything planned out rigorously. 10 a.m. I'm there, 11 I go there, at 12:30 I have to be there. You're not going to want to be constantly in the spotlight. You're not going to want to be where people are all the time. You don't need this. So the more you push yourself towards this, the more difficult life is going to feel. It's going to feel heavy. It's going to feel difficult. It's going to feel rough. It's going to feel forced. It's going to feel like it's coming purely from stress and from anxiety. Like you're stressed in the sense that, you have to constantly stress yourself out. You're describing hell. Yeah, I'm describing hell. That's what I'm describing right now. Just that living purely by negative rewards and incentives and pushing and whipping yourself and being your own drill sergeant. So the key thing that made me want to make this video was that I have met a lot of introverted feeling types that appear detached emotionally, that appear to repress their own emotions, or that disregard their own emotions, consider their own emotions unimportant. I met a lot of artists that call their own work stupid and that say, yeah, it sucks, it's not good enough, and it's not doesn't look good. I met a lot of people, good people, who get down on their own ethics. Like, I'm a bad person. I don't have a good sense of ethics. I don't have my own values. I don't have my own, like, I'm not the person I want to be. I'm not living up to my own intentions and my own purpose. So yeah, I know a lot of people who go through that spiral, and then I feel like there is a stress here in a sense, because it's like you're trying to rationalize or push yourself to be all those things, and you're trying to use rational metrics to define your success. So the heavy trap that I feel a lot of people get stuck in is that of looking logically at themselves as artists in their own performance, evaluating their own work based on how liked it is, how popular it gets, how successful it is, how rational it is to do it, and how, on a logical level, how sharp the lines are, and how correct everything is done, and how well you manage to live up to your own intentions, and how, yeah, you're, as Susu says, especially when you're stuck in a negative environment, like, especially, yeah, that that's all a sign to me that you've internalized your environment's opinions on yourself. So you're judging yourself not on your own metrics of success, because to you it's not about that. You're judging yourself by other people's metrics of success. So you recognize that there are people out there that pursue the world rationally, and you recognize that there are people out there that care about statistics and money and data, and then you'd say, I should live by that metric as well. So that's where that negative whip comes from, that internalizing of your opinions on yourself that come from the outside world. So often when you look at introverted thinking and an introverted feeling type, what does introverted thinking do? Well, it's like a negative expectation. It's like a leash that you put on yourself. So what I see here is a lot of introverted feelers, they put a leash on themselves, like that they drag themselves by. So they have these expectations like I have to be smart, I have to be realistic, I have to be logical, I have to think about this scientifically speaking, I have to evaluate myself objectively, I have to gather data, I have to map out my success, I have to show myself how often do I practice, how often do I work, do I follow the recipe of success, do I follow a good approach. So there's a constant second guessing here of feeling like you have to write down and score yourself using objective metrics, and you have to follow a strategy that comes purely from thinking to succeed in your feeling goals. You know, the more you follow this leash, the more you can get confused. So the more you follow this leash, the more you start thinking, maybe I'm not a feeler, maybe I'm actually a thinker. These expectations can become so big on you that you start feeling numb and cut off from your emotions. You no longer listen to your own feelings. It's no longer about if you like what you do or if you enjoy it or if you care about it. It's about, am I following this logical, rational method or framework that will align with what I want? So you start confusing why you do things and for what reason. So that's where I get a lot of INFPs and INFJs that come to me and they go like, maybe I'm a thinker. Maybe I'm an INTP. Maybe I'm an INTJ. Maybe I'm like, you start coming to a point where it's all logic and you don't know, you start feeling very confused. And that's usually when you start feeling like everything is meaningless. That's when you start getting to the point where you start wondering, why am I really doing it? And yeah, all these data says I'm growing maybe a little bit but not fast enough, and all these statistics, they say that yeah, I could maybe do it if I push more, but why, for what reason, for what purpose? That you start feeling like you're cut off from your purpose and what you do, like it doesn't matter, that it's, yeah, you lost to some extent the point of what you do. And that's happened to me many times. I've gotten to a point where I have pushed myself so much with thinking, and to the point where I start feeling cut off emotionally from something. And I feel like a lot of INFJs have this even more than I do, because I was raised by INFPs. I was raised by people who encouraged me in my own art, my own expression, and who encouraged me to be myself. But I encountered a lot of INFJs that did not have this environment. So they grew up in a cold or unloving environment where they did not get a lot of affection from other people, and where other people did not show a lot of care or did not support them or so on. So they have this extremely internalized. So they are kind of like drill sergeants, their own drill sergeants. So they're just push, 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 success, success, success. It's just data, 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 science, 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 proof, proof, proof. Like that's the mantra you keep going through over and over. And there's an assumption, of course, that introverted feeling types are cold because they keep emotions on the inside. They're cold because it's more processed internally. It's not there at all. But there are ways to recognize that you're dealing with an introverted feeling type and that you're actually more sensitive than you think you are. So there is a checklist you can go through, like how do I respond to criticism? How do I deal with other people's emotions? Is it difficult for me to deal with other people's emotions? Do I tend to take on other people's emotions as my own? Do I tend to take things personally? So do I tend to have a weird view of things, in the sense that I tend to have unusual values? Do I tend to have my own way of doing things. Like there are so many things that can remind you of, yeah, I'm actually more feeling than I think, because there is an intricacy in what I do. There's a delicacy in how I do things. There is a carefulness in this. There is a qualitative approach in it. It's emotional in its nature. It's feeling its nature. It's based on what I value, what I care about, what's important to me. So more Meagle says, I'm an INFP, but I really use extroverted thinking most of the time to protect myself in relationships. I think male INFPs have to do this. So yeah, that's in part from the pressure of being a man, that you feel, yeah, I have to push myself more. I have to put on a strong front for other people. So that idea of needing to be strong, that's detrimental. It's extremely hurtful to INFJ men and INFP men, because that's constantly on. I have to be strong all the time for other people. So what you're getting is like a lot of INFP men and INFJ men have this concept where they're constantly taking in other people's emotions. They're absorbing everybody else's emotions, and then they put on a strong front. Everybody else is feeling this. Everybody else needs this. Everybody else uh, requires this. And then you put on a strong front, and then you act as the executioner of this. Like you're the person that has to give it to everybody. You have to make sure everybody gets it. You have to make sure everybody gets comfort, everybody gets support. And to do so, you have to be strong. You have to be cold. You have to be careless. You have to be ruthless. You have to push yourself. You have to be like, you have to be a quarterback of everybody else's emotions. So, INFP man and INFJ man, they often take on the role of the emotional quarterback. And yeah, okay, a lot of INFJ women are actually super tough as well. A lot of INFP women I met have also have this strong side to them for everybody else. So that's also something that contributes to this idea of them as cold, because people are going, this person shows no affection, this person does not let anybody know how they're feeling, they keep everything to themselves, and because they do, other people assume it's not there at all. Nobody knows it's there at all. Nobody knows. Okay. Thanks so much, Saku, for the €5 for the support for the pineapple. I actually got a pineapple today. Fairy says, I grew up to prove my strength like a wolf pack, so I had to turn into a little adult too early. Yeah, I had the same thing. I turned to an adult way too early. I felt in the drama and in the emotional storms of everybody else that I had to be the person that took care of everybody. So you know how INFPs and INFJs, they are often natural counselors. So what they do is they listen to everybody else's problems, and then they offer the solution. So they listen, they absorb, they hear, how was your day? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And oh, that must have been so difficult for you. And they take on the solution finder. Maybe we can try this. Maybe I can do this. Maybe we can work something out. Maybe we can talk with your parents. Maybe we can, you take on the role of the counselor and the problem solver and the fixer. So what I'm getting at is, of course, feelers can be incredibly strong in thinking when it is for the purpose of emotional expectations and demands and of emotions. Emotions are the primary navigator of a feeling type. So when somebody is sad, when somebody is angry, when somebody is having a bad day, when a trauma has occurred, when people need support, when people are struggling with confusion, emotional unrest, when there's when somebody wants to become a successful artist, when the sun is eating me. Yeah, it is, huh? Wait a second. Okay, so welcome to the darkness. I'm enlightened. Yes. 50% dark side, 50% light side. No, I'm 100% the dark side. I fight the dark every day and the light. So where were we? What was I saying? So I definitely feel like what Peter says is correct. Feeling perceiving types, they put up walls to the world around them a lot of the time. So it's like they hold up. They're like they're soft, but they hold up a shield. So that's often how they live. And there's always that question of, can I trust you? Are you a good person? Are you gonna listen to me? Are you gonna be good to me? Are you gonna be nice to me? And so you lower your shield, and then somebody stabs you and you go, ow, and then you pull up your shield again. Why did you stab me? Why did you do that? So that's often how I feel like with feeling perceiving. That's It's like it's ideally it wants its shield down, and it wants to trust people, and it wants to feel safe around others, and it wants to feel okay, and to be open with people and to share with of itself. But it does have this tendency, and that's thinking and judging, to look at and think, okay, is it rational to trust you? Do I have a good reason to trust you? What reason do I have to expect that you won't hurt me if I take this down? So yeah, uh, never stab a feeling perceiving type. Never uh, hurt other people. Okay, that's hard not to do. It happens. It happens. But at least continue to show people that you can be trusted, and that you can be worthy, and that you can be that you will be open, and that you will do your best. I feel like with feeling judging, it's that feeling judging is I tend to see feeling judging as naturally diplomatic and persuasive, and it is easy to trust. It tends to have a positive view of other people very easily. It expects everybody else to be a part of the team play, and to expect everybody else to be a part of the uh, yeah, team good, or the same values. Everybody shares the same values. Everybody shares the same fundamental ideas or intentions. That's how I tend to feel like with feeling judging. That natural tendency to expect everybody else to be trustworthy and expect everybody else to be good. But then I feel like with feeling judging, it's that it has this flip side, and that's of course from the whip thinking and perceiving. It's that uh, tendency to start to doubt as you move forward. So you're starting up collaborations, you're going together with people, you're helping people, you're supporting people, you're connecting us, you're building relationships and everything. And then you keep on going, and you start feeling, wait a minute, do other people have my back? Do other people support me? Do other people Are other people on my team? Are they actually on my team? And thinking and perceiving is not nearly as aggressive as thinking and judging. So when you assert yourself with thinking and perceiving, it's not that you lift up a shield. It's not that you like try to protect yourself or like any other effort. But what you start doing is you start thinking tactically. Okay, what if they screw me over? What if they hurt me? What if they do this? So what I feel like with feeling judging types is that they can start playing it safe. They can start playing a, a game to survive. They start formulating a backup plan. They start thinking of counter moves. They start analyzing the situation. And when they start analyzing the situation, that's the most difficult thing. Okay, what everybody says about INFJs, that is really true. That's really true. Is that we tend to become cold or detached or extremely rational when we've been hurt. So when we get sensitive, when we get upset, when we get annoyed, we turn into this robot mode. So it's like we go from like, yeah, I care about you, I want to help you, and then we feel hurt, and then it's, I don't care about you. You don't matter even the slightest to me. I don't care about people. I only care like that's when you go like the flip side is you put on this front of, yeah, I don't actually care. So you turn into like this static robot, this person that pretends not to care. So FAs are amazing at that. Pretend not to care. Pretend that people are completely unimportant to you, and put yourself in a. Don't show people how much you hurt, or don't show people how much you struggle or how difficult it is. And I feel like it's very hard for a lot of INFJs to get out of that. So it's a natural preservation mechanism, self-preservation instinct. It's also because you feel a sense of loss or investment. So you feel like you've put energy into somebody or emotions into somebody, and you put a lot into something, and you've expected a lot, and you've had big dreams, and you've had extreme aspirations of something, and feeling this loss, I feel like you end up not wanting other people to know that you did. And of course, there's like with FJ, it's like you're always aware of how you impact other people. Feeling judging types, they don't expect to get hurt. They don't expect people to be able to hurt them because they're always so focused on how they impact other people. So there's this thought in feeling judging types that other people can't get to me. I'm the only one that can get to them. Other people can't hurt me, but I can hurt them. So that's the like more offensive style of feeling judging. Feeling judging is focused on how do I influence other people. Feeling perceiving is focused on how do other people influence me. How do other people affect me with what they do and who they are. So I'm gonna start rounding off this, but what I'm gonna say is I had one core advice, and that's with how to deal with emotions and how to deal with feelings. And what it goes to is why you need to write, why you need to make art, why you need to play music, why you need to have relationships, why you need to have connections, why do you need to have friends, why do you need to go out and engage in drama or pursue a career in acting, why do you need to do those things that feelers love to do. Well, every time you feel bad, every time you feel negative, every time you feel moody or melancholy or sad, or every time you have these struggles that feelers do, art and artistic expression and acting and relationships are the perfect remedy. What you're looking to do is you're looking to bring and resolve emotions, negative emotions, by creating art, by writing a book, by writing a story, by talking and sharing with other people, or by helping their friends, or by supporting them with something, or by watching a movie, or listening to another person's stories, or hearing about another person's day. The natural coping mechanism of too much feelings for a feeling type is relationships. So, what you're gonna look to get away from is disconnection from other people. What you're gonna have to stop dismissing your own art. You're gonna have to stop calling your own music stupid. You're gonna have to stop telling yourself, I don't deserve to be other people's friends. I don't deserve to be with other people. I'm not a good person. Like, you're gonna have to stop with all of that, because relationships are the natural remedy to every struggle you have. If you feel bad about yourself as a person, go and help somebody. If you feel like you're not living up to your purpose as an artist, go create art, go fulfill your purpose. Quitting is not going to help. Giving up is not going to make you feel better. Every time that I gave up on a friend or a relationship or on art or on something I was working on out of frustration or anxiety, I felt so numb. I felt so cold. I felt so dead. Like I had no steam, no energy, no passion, no meaning anywhere in anything I did anymore. And what I ended up realizing was that I would rather feel bad doing something I love than to feel nothing at all. And yeah, there's gonna be times where you feel nothing at all. Thinking types, they have emotions too. A lot of emotions, and the thing with thinking is the thinking types, they employ thinking strategies to navigate emotions. So they rely on reason. They try to think, why am I upset? Okay, logically speaking, is something about my life worse now than it was before? Did somebody say something? Did how is my work doing? How is my YouTube channel doing? Am I, all those things hit the thinking type emotionally. And so they're thinking, okay, what can I do? What strategy can I perform? How can I move forward? What can I do next? So their whole strategy is thinking. Feeling types, our whole strategy is feeling. So our whole strategy is connect with people, build relationships, make art. It's go out, take an acting class. It's engage in role play. It's read books. It's do art. It's like all those things. You know, those things can help thinkers as well, of course. And thinkers can do those things too, but for thinking reasons. And feelers can do all those mathematical puzzles and so on for feeling reasons. But every time you feel cut off and lost and uncertain, think about what motivates you and what times in life where you felt meaning, times in life where you felt connection, times in life where you felt like things mattered. What were you doing? Chances are you can nail down when you're doing feeling, when you're doing thinking, and you're gonna notice also in your mood how it affects you. So okay, I hope this video helped some of you. Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, I love you all. You're an amazing community. Chasing the love, appreciating feeling, not chasing selfish, the dancing, music, or taking, not trying too hard to protect yourself that you lose out on meaningful opportunities to get close to others, not starting to second guess yourself with other people and starting to feel afraid of being used by other people. Typology helps for sure. Yeah, see you all on Discord. Join up for the after chat. We have so many new channels right now where you can navigate and learn about introverted feeling, extroverted feeling, all the cognitive functions. I also want to say subscribe on Patreon if you haven't. It's an awesome way to get some behind the scenes content, some pictures, videos once in a while. Just hellos, just some thoughts that I have once in a while, some extras. And see you all in Discord. See you all everywhere, wherever you are.